So we've got another super simple craft here for you. Coffee painting. All you need is some instant coffee and some water and a paintbrush and some watercolor paper. So all you need to do is take your watercolor paper. Here's some different examples of ones that I've done. I am not a very good watercolor painter, but basically the coffee acts like watercolor. So all you need to do is paint like you're painting a watercolor. So what I recommend is you can do a couple of different strengths of coffee to test out a swatch, just so that you can kind of see what the different strengths are going to dry and what they're going to look like. And this depends on how much coffee and how much water you use. So the more coffee and less water you use, the darker your paint will be. So this has just got a little bit of coffee in the water, and this has got a lot of coffee in the water. So the darker you get, the closer you get to brown, and then you just have your kind of swatches there, so you can kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like once it's dry. So then, once you've got your coffee paint prepared, you just paint your picture like you would paint a watercolor. So you can start by coating your paper in water, like so. And you can paint whatever you want. Like I said, I'm not a very talented painter, so mine are pretty basic looking. I generally stick to trees because they're pretty easy to do. So then you've got your paper nice and wet, and then you could start adding some of your paint. As you can see, as you add it, it looks pretty much like watercolor. So it's like brown watercolor. So you can make some monochromatic paintings, and they can look pretty good. And just like watercolor, you kind of have to let it dry before you can add another layer to it, because otherwise it just ends up into one big mess. And just kind of make sure that you've got some clean water lying beside you, or sitting beside you, I guess I should say, so that you can add to it. So you just kind of keep painting, keep adding more water, more coffee, until you've got your background the way you want, and then you set it aside to dry. And then so now I've got another one here, and so this is kind of what it looks like after it dries. So you've got some different gradients here, and then I'm going to just add a tree branch here in some really dark coffee paint here. And here's my tree branches, and just have fun with it. Experiment with different strengths of your coffee. You know, the darker it is, you have more coffee, less water. The lighter it is, you have less coffee. And then you can also experiment with different paper. Try how different watercolor paper might react to the coffee. You can try just plain printer paper, see how that turns out. Just experiment with your materials, and just have fun with it, and then share with us some of your creations. Like, you don't need a whole lot of talent here. I can do a tree branch. It's about all I can do, but it's still fun. And then you just let it dry, and bonus is that it smells wonderful while you're painting. So here's just another example. And this here down in the corner shows this is why you need to wait for it to dry completely before adding more, because it will just kind of like bleed into the other layers there and it doesn't look good. But as you can see here, it's a lot more crisper because I let the background dry. And one thing with watercolor painting, which is probably why I'm not very good at it, is that you have to be very patient. And I just want everything to be done quickly and all at once. And so that's all you need to do for coffee painting. Is all you need is coffee, water, and some watercolor paper and a paintbrush. And away you go. Thanks. Bye.